angle of the camera almost makes it look like I don't fit in the car. What's going on, gearheads? Welcome back to the channel. This is an 07 Pontiac Solstice GXP. That's right, the turbocharged one. Now, if you're new to the channel, well, it's full of problems. But we're not doing any wrenching today. We're doing some cosmetic corrections on this 17-year-old car. And while it looks good on camera, I can tell you that up close it does need some tender loving. So if you're just now buying a Pontiac Solstice or Saturn Sky, you've probably come to the realization that you can't buy headlight assemblies and you can't buy any external parts for this thing. So for part one, we're going to do a full headlight restoration on this Pontiac Solstice. I'm going to show you the right way to do it. And it's not going to be just for the Solstice. You'll be able to use this process on any car that needs a headlight restoration done on it. Now for part two, we're going to do some paint correction on this old paint. I'm going to show you how to get rid of all those micro swirls that you can see in the sunlight. And then for part three, we're going to restore that ugly rear fascia that's starting to turn white that you always got to apply that stupid oil to. You know that old Chevy where it was nothing but plastic and it had all that whiteness? And yeah, we're going to fix all that, except I'm going to show you how to do it on here. So if you got a Chevy, Pontiac, whatever, stick around. All right guys, so before we get all crazy sanding away, let me show you what I'm using here. So I'm using the 3M kit for this. Now there's a few other brands out there, Meguiar's, all those, but 3M seems to make the best one on the market. Yeah, it's just sandpaper and essentially a shanked pad, but hey, it still works. Now, we're not gonna use a clear coat that came in this kit. We're actually gonna be using a canned clear coat, a Clear Max. So it's a double system. It kind of penetrates on the bottom there, crack it open, and spray it. It's a one-time use. This is going to make it last for years. If you use the little packets that are in these boxes, you're only going to get about a year, 2 years. They're going to start fading. And then you got to do it all over again. So on top of the clear coat, you're going to need drill. Doesn't matter which one, whatever your preference is, Cobalt, Milwaukee, DeWalt, whatever. Who cares? As long as you can put something in that little hole there. Now for the kit and the clear coat and all that, I'm going to put that up in the description so you know exactly what I'm using, so you don't have to go out and go crazy looking for it. So here's where it's going to make or break. You can take these off or you can tape it off. Now if you tape it off, you're not going to really get the best quality. You're going to have a good kind of outer part, but you're still going to have edges where you can see it if you really get close. The lights on this are so easy to take out. On most cars, they're pretty easy to take out. A lot of the modern ones, they're not. But for this one, just take it out, okay? You're gonna need an extension and then a T27 Torx, I'm not even too sure how they spell it. Now, couldn't find my 1/2-inch driver, so we're gonna use the Mega one here. And you're just gonna pull these out. Feels kind of crazy using such a big tool, but everything's misplaced right now, unfortunately. And don't forget that headlight bulb. You can just set it gently to the side there. All right guys, so like I said, I did these about a year ago. They're not too bad now that they're out, but they actually don't look the best. And the reason is we did not use a high quality clear coat. So we're gonna use that high quality Clear 2K or Max 2K, whatever the hell it's called, which will make these last a really good amount of time. All right, so let's just spray it down a little bit. Yeah, that's right, I'm using Dawn. It's gonna give a little bit of a slipperiness when I need it. Now, you can use other lubricating products, just whatever you do. Don't use KY jelly. Let's get our drill ready here. We're gonna use the Cobalt, because it's the only one that really has a battery currently charged. And we're gonna start with the 500 here. So you are gonna need that one. And let's lube it up. All right, so now it's time to use our 3000 grit. We've got a nice little milky finish here that I'm really digging. So let's put the, not 6,000, 3,000 on here. And then we're gonna wet sand it so it'll make it look nice and clear when it's all done here. If I can find it, there we go. It's actually pretty thick. And yeah, I know it's hard to hold this right here, but it's better than it being on the car. The car would normally hold it for you, but again, you want to do it right. You can already see how it's already starting to clear out. Yeah, look at that. So we've got all this residue on here, but we still need to go just a little further and get some of these other little blemishes out here. Remember, this is only light number 1. Well guys, it looks like UPS just rolled up with some Solstice parts while we were doing the headlights, so let's tear into this box because I'm really curious to see what came. All right, well, it's DDM work, so we'll see what they sent us. I ordered a few things for the Pontiac, so could be anything. And I'm glad it actually came here because I needed it. Put it upside down. Definitely not what I ordered. Well guys, so I had to go take do a second check on my order with DDM Works, and I did not order this, so thanks guys. I did see that I did order the coolant tube set for the GXP Solstice, which I looked inside the box and, well, the packing sheet that's in there is some guy in Nevada, but the box has my address. So to the guy in Nevada, got your diagnostic tool, man. All right, so we're gonna do one last little step really quick here. I didn't mention this, but some ultimate polish from Meguiar's. So, well, and just do a little bit here. And then take your drill or your pad. All right, what do you guys think here? Here's the old one. Still kind of some blemishes on here, but let's wipe this one down really quick and see what we got going on and see how they compare. And we'll hit it with some rubbing alcohol before we clear it up. Looks pretty good though. Take a peek at that. So we're ready for our second light here. So remember, 500, 800, 3000. And let's not forget the glaze on this one too. Again, this is optional here. You don't need to use it, but it makes an absolute mess too. It's kind of fun. You know what, let's add one more final touch here. This is gonna make an absolute mess here. So we're gonna do this pretty much right here on the ground with the clear. So pull the plug on the top, jam it in the bottom, and shake it up. All right guys, so it's been some time to allow the clear coat to cure, but let's take a look here and see what we've got going on. So I know when you originally saw these, they were still a little blurry, and the clear coat has finally cured on these. There are some imperfections in the top of the light in some other areas that you can't get out on these ones because they were actually damaged, is what it appears. Either previous owner or not really too sure. Something hit them on the top, so none of that was actually gonna come out. So I'm pretty happy with the way these turned out, but we need to get them installed, and then I got some polishing compound. We'll finish this out. I didn't talk about that in the beginning because I'm kind of throwing some stuff at it right now to kind of get more of a gloss out of it versus just using the simple 3M set. And we'll get the second one pushed back in here. Look at that, guys. Finally found my adapter here. So this will make life so much easier. Get that right in there. All right guys, so I'm pretty happy on the way this is actually turning out here. So we'll wait for that to actually cure, and then we'll put that compound on there on the wheel. All right, gearheads, so that's it for our segment on this headlight restoration for our Pontiac Solstice. It is old, and we did our best to try to get what we could out, and I threw you a curveball or two, kind of on some of my tactics that I used here. Now, I'm curious to see how your results are if you are going to do this job. So you can send me an email at gearheadsgarageusa@gmail.com, and I'll put up your photos in our next segment for our part 2. Now, don't forget, we're going to do paint restoration on this. Now, we're not actually painting the car, but I'm going to show you how to get rid of all that oxidation and the swirls. This one has it. You probably can't see it on camera, but I promise you it's there. And then for part 3, we're going to do some plastic restoration for that plastic that's turning white. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.